Welcome back, everybody. It's CloaknDaggerish here, playing Borderlands 3, and today I have for you another build video. This time I'm doing a casual player build for Fl4k. The Zane video that I did last time seemed to do very well. A lot of people seem to really like it. If you haven't watched that video, you can click to the card in the top left-hand corner, top right-hand corner, and you can go check that video out if you haven't seen it yet. So for this build, I decided to go with a high critical damage build using the rack attack. This pairs very well with the new weapon that we got from the seasonal event, the Wedding Invitation, which is a high damage sniper rifle. And with this build and that gun, hopefully you did get it before the event was up. This is a great bossing build. I did play around with it a little bit in like the slaughter shaft, and it didn't do so hot. The biggest problem that I have with Fl4k, or the hardest struggle that I have with Fl4k, and I'm sure a lot of you have as well, is his survivability isn't always the greatest. So I focused a little more on his strengths of, massive damage. And as a farming character, he's fantastic for taking out large, slow-moving characters. If you get swarmed by a lot of little enemies, he doesn't do very hot. But if you're taking on one or two really big guys, this is a fantastic build. And as you can see in the footage, I get through some of these bosses pretty quickly here. I picked some of my favorites. Grave Ward, Agonizer 9000, and the Warden. They're all fantastic farms, and this build works really good against them. The only one that you might struggle with a little bit is the Warden, just because he has a lot of minions and there's a lot kind of going on. But I was able to get through it no problem. So before I go through the skill trees here and break it down, I'm going to kind of explain my gear first and the reason why I selected the gear. Now, you don't really need anything super specific. Like I said, I was using the Wedding Invitation for the most part, and you can get away with one that doesn't even have an anointment on it. You could just get away with a plain Jane, but if you don't have one with an anointment on it, that's okay. This one just gives you a little bit extra damage. But so when I went through and I was selecting guns for this build, I was watching for things with anointments on them, especially for rack attack, and then anything that would add damage on action skill. And specifically, I was really concerned about the shield and the grenade, because every time you hit that rack attack, you're getting that action and skill going. So you can pretty much keep these procced almost constantly if you time it right. So I'm always getting an extra 50% bonus corrosive in this instance here, and 50% cryo. This is what I was using for the Warden, was this shield and grenade combo. So I was able to melt through that armor a lot faster. I also used this for Agonizer too, because he has got all that armor. Fantastic combo. And then I paired that up with a corrosive Cutsman. And as you can see, mine's nothing special. I don't have any anointments on it, and I was still able to melt through those bosses on Mayhem 4 very quickly. So that's just kind of my thought process behind this. The only thing that I would maybe do differently, I was looking for a stopgap shield in my collection, and unfortunately I didn't have a stopgap shield with any anointments on them. That would go very well with this build, and then a last stand artifact works very well to kind of, because he does struggle so much with survivability. Those two together would give you a much better chance, and it would maybe make it a little bit better of a mobbing build. But for like the most part, like I said, this is a great boss build, and that's probably what I would use it for. Not to say that you can't make it work for mobs or say like the takedown. I haven't played around with it that much. Maybe in the future I'll do another video on it. But anyways, let's I'm rambling on here. Let's get into the skills that I picked. I used just the hunter tree and the master tree. I didn't put any points in the stalker tree here. And again, we're kind of going for that high critical damage. So to start out with, we put 5 points in interplanetary stalker. A lot of damage from that. Whoops. Leave no trace. I did this just for the extra ammo and to help me get down the tree, because we are going to be going for those critical hits. It is nice with a Wedding Invitation. If you get that ammo back, you don't have to reload it quite so often. Hunter's Eye, more damage here. Head count, this is just reduces the cooldown on the racks, so you can spam them more often. We'll come back to those. Big game, it's longer skill durations there. Get down the tree. Most dangerous game, again, more damage, extra durations there. Galactic Shadow, increased critical hit damage, because that's what we're focusing on here. And then it kind of pulls some of the enemies off of you, so hopefully you're not getting swarmed quite so badly. A couple points here in Grim Harvest, just again to increase damage. And then this one is really nice. It allows you to score critical hits even if you don't technically hit a critical hit spot. So if they're moving around and you miss, there's a chance that you're still going to hit that critical hit anyways. So this was kind of the main focus of the build, was this tree here. I went with Falconer's Feast for the health, and then Flock and Loud for the additional racks. Just you could use this last one too. Either or of these would work pretty decent. And then I decided to go with the Spider Ant Scorcher for the health regen, and then the extra elemental damage. Especially late game, it seems best to focus on elemental damage builds. You just get so much more bang for your buck when you build your characters that way. We're going to skip over Stalker because we didn't use any of those. Going down the Master Tree, 3 points in Persistent Hunter for the damage. The other two, I just put one in each one just to get down the tree. 5 points in Frenzy, of course, because that gives us up to an extra 40% damage. This is 4% times 10. 1 point in He Bites. 4 points in Who Rescued Hugh. You get the general idea. We skipped over Psycho Head on a Stick and Hive Mind. 5 points in Barbaric Yell. 1 Mutated Defense. And then 3 points in Pack Tactics. Now this build is with the level cap increase to level 53, just in case you were wondering where I got all those skill points from. Yeah, so that just about covers everything for this build. Once again, this was a casual player build where that anybody who can put just a little bit of time into the game can throw this build together very easily. You don't have to farm for very specific items. Anybody can put this together and start playing Mayhem 4 and taking down those bosses so that they can farm those better items. I hope you guys like it. If you have any comments or suggestions on the build, let me know what you think. What would you tweak? Of course, it's not perfect. It could be probably so much better, but again, I'm trying to make this for the casual player so that anybody can use it. And that was really my goal with this and the previous build, and probably my next 2 builds. I'm going to do something very similar. So if you liked this video, be sure to give it a like. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for more Borderlands 3 content, as well as other video game content. You can follow my social medias and my Twitch. There's links for that in the description below. And I think that's going to do it. And until next time, you have a good one.